Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce tied the knot Friday night at Madison Square Garden, ending a 2-year love story that began with a friendship bracelet. But that's only part of the story. Here's how the night unfolded, from the first arrivals to the moment it all became official. Let's start with the headline itself. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are married. That's not speculation anymore, it's confirmed. Swift's publicist, Tree Payne, put out a statement confirming the 14-time Grammy Award winner and 3-time Super Bowl champion were married in a lavish ceremony in front of 1,000 guests at Madison Square Garden in New York on Friday evening. And the officiant wasn't some anonymous judge. It was Adam Sandler. ABC News confirmed the couple wed in a ceremony in New York City, officiated by actor and comedian Adam Sandler. A representative for Swift confirmed to ABC News on Friday. CBS got the same confirmation, describing him as the two were married in a ceremony officiated by comedian Adam Sandler, who was described by the representative as a friend of the couple. Sandler wasn't a random pick either. He'd already crossed paths with the couple through Kelce's cameo in his movie and his appearances on the New Heights podcast, and Sandler has openly said he's a fan of Swift's music, once telling Conan O'Brien that there's not a word my kids don't know. I know them too, by the way. Now here's where it gets emotional, because this wasn't a wedding with a traditional bridal party. Swift's brother Austin stood in as her man of honor, while Kelce's older brother Jason, the retired NFL lineman, served as best man. The couple had no bridesmaids or groomsmen. Swift's brother Austin Swift served as her man of honor, the representative said, while Kelce's brother, retired NFL offensive lineman Jason Kelce, served as Kelce's best man. The venue itself told its own story. Madison Square Garden lit up its famous marquee with a message for the world. A jumbotron outside Madison Square Garden lit up with the words, "Just and T married," following the news. Even the Empire State Building got in on it. The Empire State Building also announced on social media that it had lit up in something blue in celebration of the wedding. Outside, it wasn't quiet. Fans had been camped for hours in the heat, and NPR described the scene as dozens of black cars dropped off elegantly dressed guests outside of Madison Square Garden in New York City. CNN captured a similar moment. Pink lights suddenly flashing against the arena as the crowd realized what they were witnessing, with signs reading "Justin Tay married." Signs surrounding Madison Square Garden read. Reactions came fast, and not just from fans. Elmo. Yes, that Elmo posted on Instagram, sending love to the newlyweds, writing that Elmo is red. Elmo's friends said "I do." Congratulations, Miss Taylor Swift and Mr. Travis Kelce. Elmo loves you. Dolly Parton thanked the couple on camera for a donation to her literacy charity, saying she was blown away and overjoyed with that gratitude, adding that the mission of the Dollywood Foundation is to dream more, care more, learn more, and be more. And Amy Schumer trolled the whole affair with a spoof outfit and a caption joking that rehearsal dinner was sick. Even the White House weighed in. The official Instagram account posted a parody of the Garden's marquee, replacing "Just married" with a message about the president, a move Hollywood Reporter described as the White House going into Taylor Swift overdrive on Friday, posting a meme appropriating the Swift-Travis Kelce wedding at Madison Square Garden. So that's the moment. A pop star and an NFL tight end, married in the most famous arena in the world, with a comedian officiating, brothers standing in as honor attendants, and half of Hollywood and Sesame Street reacting in real time. But to understand how we got to that Friday night, you have to go back to a stadium in Kansas City, a failed friendship bracelet, and a relationship that turned into the most watched celebrity romance in years. Every wedding has an origin story, and this one starts almost 3 years before the vows. The relationship dates back to the summer of 2023, when Kelce attended one of Swift's Eras Tour shows in Kansas City, hoping to give her a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it. He never got the chance, so he did what any modern athlete does. He went on his own podcast and complained about it. Kelce recalled being a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the friendship bracelets I made for her, admitting, "I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it." Swift later told Time she found the whole thing metal as hell. That comment did what nothing else could have. It got back to her. Within months, she was showing up to his games. NPR's timeline notes that within months, she was attending his games. Most famously, the 2024 Super Bowl his team went on to win. He was spotted in the crowd, and even on stage at many of her shows the next year. Wikipedia's detailed record of the relationship fills in the exact dates. Swift and Kelce entered a romantic relationship in August 2023, following her Eras Tour concerts at Arrowhead Stadium, the home of the Kansas City Chiefs, the month prior. They made their first public appearance together at the Chiefs' home game against the Chicago Bears on September 24, 2023. From there, the relationship played out almost entirely in public, something both of them have talked about as the foundation of their bond. Kelce told GQ he related to what Swift goes through because he understood the scrutiny of being famous, saying, "I hadn't experienced somebody in the same shoes as me. Having a partner who understands the scrutiny, understands the ups and downs of being in front of millions." That was very relatable, seeing how exhausted she would get after shows. He added that people underestimate what she goes through physically, saying, "I've seen what she goes through. I've seen the amount of work that she puts on her body, and it's mind-blowing." NPR's reporting also captured how Swift herself described the connection, saying she and Kelce bonded over entertain people for 3+ hours in NFL stadiums. Shared job, in a way, both of them performing in football stadiums for massive crowds, just in very different uniforms. 2 years of dating led to the proposal, and this is where the wedding's roots really take hold. Kelce got down on one knee at his home in Lee's Summit, Missouri, the same day, according to Wikipedia's record, that the pair had wrapped filming an episode of New Heights, and Swift had just told him she was dropping a new album. The site notes the couple became engaged on August 10, 2025, when Kelce proposed to Swift at his Lee's Summit home after they finished shooting an episode of his sports podcast, New Heights, in which Swift announced her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. 16 days later, the world found out. The engagement was announced through simultaneous Instagram posts, and the caption became instantly iconic, a play on their respective day jobs. The couple wrote, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." The post detonated online. Wikipedia notes their joint engagement announcement on Instagram went viral, becoming one of the most liked posts on the platform. Swift later admitted marriage wasn't something she'd fantasized about her whole life. It was Kelce specifically who changed that. She told UK Radio, "You would think that I had been the type of person who would have obsessed over the idea of a wedding my whole life. But I actually never thought about what I would ever do or what I would want until I met the person." And on Fallon's show, she got even more direct about why he was the one. She said, "He's just my favorite person I've ever met. No offense to everyone else, but the fact that this is the person that I get to hang out with every day forever, that's the whole thing of it. You look at it and you're like, I'm gonna hang out with him forever." And this represents that. From that August engagement post to the following July, the couple did what they'd always done. Lived mostly in public, while somehow keeping the actual wedding planning locked down tight. That secrecy is where the story turns next. If the engagement was loud, the run-up to the wedding was the opposite, a masterclass in saying nothing, while the entire internet tried to figure everything out. Kelce's own family became the front line of this information blackout. His mother, Donna Kelce, was cornered by a photographer at LAX and point-blank refused to give anything up, saying only, "I'm just happy. I'm so happy for them." His sister-in-law, Kylie Kelce, married to best man Jason, had to publicly beg her own podcast audience to stop digging, making a plea on her Not Gonna Lie podcast in April for people to stop asking her for wedding dirt. Even confirmed guests couldn't confirm anything. George Kittle, Kelce's Tight End University co-founder, and his wife Claire were asked point-blank by Entertainment Tonight whether the event was really happening at MSG. Claire's answer was a flat, "We don't know," while George admitted he'd tried asking Kelce directly the night before and gotten nowhere, joking, "I actually asked Travis last night, and he laughed at me. I'm half expecting there just to be a jumbo jet on a runway, and they put us on a plane somewhere." The lockdown extended to logistics most people never think about. Guests reportedly got custom watermarked invitations. engineered so any leak could be traced back to whoever leaked it. Described as a system where guests received custom watermarked invitations that would allow the pop star and Kelce to trace each one back to its original recipient so as to avoid leaked information. And there was an explicit no gifts policy handed down to attendees, with Kittle relaying. They said absolutely no gifts, noting he still might get his fellow NFL star a little something for the big day. He was already plotting an old coin, since Travis for some reason likes old coins, so I might get him an old coin. Meanwhile, New York City itself became a crime scene for Swifties. Public permit filings gave away more than anyone official was willing to say. PBS reported that public records show that the city issued a permit for loading and unloading theatrical materials at MSG from June 29 to July 4. A separate company that handles major red carpet productions applied for its own permit, described as Winnick Productions, a company that has produced red carpet events for Grammy and Tony Awards, shows, and movie premieres. Also applied for a permit to set up a canopy or tent outside the Garden for an event involving up to 999 people. Trucks rolled in for days. Reporters staked out the loading docks and caught workers hauling in staging equipment. At one point, spotting some reports showed video of a man with a Taylor Swift carpenter's shirt operating a machine. Others caught what appeared to be a staircase being hauled into the venue. CBS described the scene similarly, noting reporters had been watching for days as a parade of 18-wheelers delivered and unloaded supplies, mostly under wraps, with workers hanging draperies inside Madison Square Garden as members of the armed forces stood outside. Eventually, the dam broke, not through an official announcement, but through a law enforcement source briefed on security. The Associated Press got confirmation that the wedding will be held Friday, with a smaller rehearsal dinner Thursday night. According to a law enforcement official briefed on security plans, who spoke on condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to discuss the events publicly. Even then, Swift and Kelce's team never officially confirmed the venue publicly until after the fact. As one Billboard rundown put it, part of their strategy the whole way through was to withhold even the city detail from most guests until the very end. One way Swift and Kelce had been able to keep details about their big day under wraps before it was confirmed that the location would be MSG was by waiting until just before the wedding date to tell guests where exactly it would be, aside from somewhere in New York City. Kelce, for what it's worth, had basically called his shot on the timing over a year earlier. Long before the engagement, he joked on his podcast about scheduling around football, saying he didn't personally know anyone who married in the fall. Since I actually don't know people who have gotten married in the fall. All the weddings I've been to and all my friends do it in the summer. That is more or less exactly what happened. A summer wedding, timed to a holiday weekend, that let him avoid stepping on a single game day. Fox News even noted he'd previously joked about not wanting, "Don't make my friends have to choose whether or not they have to sell their tickets that week." By the final week of June, the secrecy had become its own spectacle, a citywide guessing game that turned into one of the most closely tracked media events of the year, with Wikipedia noting that journalists described the wedding as one of the most anticipated events of 2026. All that build-up set the stage for the two actual events that unfolded that first weekend of July, a small rehearsal, and then the main event. The wedding wasn't a single event. It was structured as two distinct nights inside the same building, and that detail alone explains a lot of the confusion in the days leading up to it. Thursday night was the smaller gathering, a rehearsal dinner held inside MSG itself. ABC News reported that on Thursday evening, Swift and Kelce held a smaller gathering at the arena for around 100 people. Sources familiar with the plans told ABC News. Wikipedia's account backs up the head count, noting the rehearsal dinner took place on July 2 with 100 guests, which was followed by a larger celebration on July 3 with around 1,000 guests and prominent celebrities. Security for both nights was airtight in a way rarely seen even for celebrity events. ABC reported a total device ban inside the venue for both events, A strict no-phone policy was in place for everyone inside the venue, including guests, vendors, and security personnel, according to sources. Friday was the big one. Black SUVs started rolling in early, and by CBS's account, large black SUVs were seen starting to arrive at the famous venue shortly after 3 p.m. ET. Pulling into white tents set up outside, the schedule for the evening followed a familiar wedding rhythm, just supersized. The plans included a cocktail hour, ceremony, and then a reception, with the celebration expected to stretch into the early hours, Saturday. The sources told CBS News the guest list read like an awards show seating chart. CBS's own list of arrivals included actors Hugh Grant, Jason Sudeikis, and Ethan Hawke, soccer star Abby Wambach, sports broadcaster Joe Buck, musician Benson Boone, NFL star Cooper Kupp, and Paulina Gretzky, daughter of hockey legend Wayne Gretzky. CNN's list added even more names to the pile. Ethan Hawke, Gwen Stefani, Benson Boone, Jason Sudeikis, Jimmy Fallon, J-Lo, Ed Sheeran, Abby Wambach, Cooper Kupp, Roger Goodell, Joe Buck, and Jenny Han. Steven Spielberg was there. So was Jessica Alba. NFL royalty showed up too. CNN specifically flagged 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady and Andy Reid, Kelce's head coach with the Kansas City Chiefs, among the departing guests early Saturday. Chris Rock was photographed leaving in a blacked-out SUV, and Gigi Hadid, Bradley Cooper, and Selena Gomez were all spotted being driven away as the night wound down, per CNN's live coverage, which noted model Gigi Hadid and actor Bradley Cooper were seen being driven away from MSG early Saturday, as was actress Selena Gomez. Comedian Chris Rock was photographed inside a black SUV, while actor Hugh Grant and his wife, Anna Elizabeth Eberstein, were pictured walking out. The music side of the guest list mattered just as much as the movie stars. Ed Sheeran, Swift's longtime collaborator since he opened her Red Tour back in 2013, was confirmed early and photographed arriving, with Fox noting longtime friend and collaborator Ed Sheeran was pictured arriving at the venue in Manhattan before the nuptials took place. Sheeran and Swift have frequently collaborated together after he opened her Red Tour in 2013. There was even speculation Stevie Nicks and Paul McCartney might take the stage that night, tied to reporting that Stevie Nicks and Paul McCartney were planning to take the stage alongside the nation's biggest pop star. Then there was the outfit everyone was waiting on, the dress. Reports had circled around Christian Dior for weeks, and it turned out to be true. An official statement confirmed both looks were designer collaborations built specifically for the day. The statement read that the bride and groom's wedding ceremony looks have been created by Christian Dior Haute Couture, designed by Jonathan Anderson, creative director of Dior Women's, men's, and haute couture collections, in close collaboration with the bride and groom, marking the designer's first couture wedding dress for a world-renowned celebrity. Their shoes were custom-made by Christian Louboutin, and the bride wore Cartier jewelry. And running underneath all of it, the charity angle that got almost as much coverage as the fashion. In the run-up to the ceremony, the couple quietly gave away tens of millions of dollars. ESPN reported the pair had gone ahead and donated $26 million to 20 local and national charities across the U.S., with funds split across children's hospitals, food banks, and music programs, in places with personal ties to the pair, including New York, Kansas City, Missouri, Nashville, Tennessee, and Rhode Island. Dolly Parton was one of the direct recipients, thanking the pair on camera for a gift to her children's book charity, telling them an excited Dolly Parton on Instagram thanked Swift and Kelce for donating $2 million to her Imagination Library, which gives books to children at no cost to families among their charity giving ahead of the wedding. By the time Friday night turned into Saturday morning, the wedding of the decade had gone from rumor to record. A 2-night 1,000-guest Dior-dressed charity-backed spectacle that had shut down parts of Manhattan. But the story doesn't end when the last SUV pulled away. What happens after a wedding this size is its own chapter. Once the ceremony ended and the Jumbotron lit up, attention immediately shifted to what comes after. Because a wedding this big doesn't just end when the music stops. First, there's the matter of what the newlyweds do next. No honeymoon destination has been shared, and neither side has said much about post-wedding plans. But people who study Swift's career closely have their theories. NYU professor and music journalist Brittany Spanos told CBS she expects the wedding to eventually show up in Swift's work, saying Swift and Kelce haven't shared a honeymoon destination or other post-wedding plans, but she thinks there's probably new music on the way, adding that if we know anything about Taylor, especially the last 6 years of her career, she's constantly writing. Spanos suggested any new material would likely draw straight from this chapter of her life, offering fans glimpses within the private life of her and Travis, and predicted the couple would keep looking for ways to continue to combine their powers, aiming to find ways to meet each other in the middle between football and pop music. Then there's the football side of things, which doesn't pause for anyone's wedding. Kelce is gearing up for another season with the Chiefs, and the timing of the wedding, smack in the middle of the NFL offseason on a holiday weekend, was never an accident. It lines up with everything he'd said for years about not wanting a wedding to interfere with the football calendar. And it means training camp and season prep were always going to start almost immediately after the honeymoon window closed. The reaction online didn't slow down either. Everyday fans who'd followed the relationship for years got their own moment in the spotlight. CNN spoke to a 24-year-old walking tour guide who described what the engagement announcement had meant to her the night it dropped, saying Swift's relationship with Kelce had sparked a very hopeful time for all of us Taylor Swift fans. She recalled being so struck by the news that she stopped in the street, needing to tell someone, anyone, what had happened. Not everyone treated the day with reverence, and that's part of the story too. The political reaction was its own subplot. The White House Instagram account spent the weekend needling the couple with parody posts, something Hollywood Reporter framed as part of a larger pattern, noting the president has previously said he wishes the couple well, while also predicting publicly that he has said he wishes the couple well, but also predicted they would not last. The outlet suggested Swift has an unusual hold on his attention, writing that she seems to have an unusual ability to get to Trump, free rent, living in his mind. There's also the quieter, more personal fallout, the friendships that were and weren't part of the day. Blake Lively's presence or absence became its own story in the days surrounding the wedding, with outlets tracking her whereabouts far from Manhattan. TMZ reported that as the celebrations kicked off, Lively was spotted upstate with her husband instead, while Swift had been seen rekindling with other friends, a detail that added a small human wrinkle to an otherwise picture-perfect weekend, described as Taylor rekindling with other friends, including Karlie Kloss, while Blake was still on the sidelines, making the most of her free time with Ryan and Betty. And then there's the money side, which will likely follow this wedding for years. Between the venue transformation, the security operation, the two-night structure, and the charitable giving on top of it all, this was never going to be a modest affair. CNN Business had already been tracking the costs before the ceremony even happened, in a piece literally titled about the price tag behind Taylor Swift's rumored wedding bash at Madison Square Garden. What's left now is the part no press release can cover: the actual marriage. Two people who built their relationship almost entirely under public watch, from a missed friendship bracelet to a stadium proposal to a 1,000-guest wedding inside the most famous arena in the country, are now just married. The cameras will eventually move on. The Chiefs' season will start. New music may or may not arrive. But for one Friday night in July, a football stadium romance became a Madison Square Garden wedding, officiated by a comedian, witnessed by two brothers standing in as honor attendants, and lit up for the entire city.